welcome to Unbreakable, where we are going to be focusing on the R in Unbreakable, and it's going to be dynamic. I have 3 bullet points to help you work on being resilient. Stay tuned. All right, all right. So I put together that intro with another young man who was very gifted, very talented. I had an opportunity to do some professional development and coaching with him at a young age. He may have been 18, and now he is he's in his I think he might have just turned 22 or 23, or he's done a dynamic job with his career. Look, he went after his dreams. We aligned him with understanding what his gifts and talents were. Now he's running his own company in content creation. He's working for a company. He's just dynamic, and that's because he understood what his gifts were. He's had some knockdowns, but he executed the R, which is for resilience. And so, if we just took a quick little definition of what that is, it's really all about the ability to be able to bounce back and adapt to pressure. That's really what resilience is. It's not getting upset and hurting somebody. It's not getting upset and start doing things that's not healthy for yourself. It's not getting upset and shooting up the place. It's not fighting physically. Resilience is about really getting knocked down and saying, okay, what did I do to not see that coming? Or now that I didn't see that coming, what do I need to do to position myself in order to be able to get back up? And so that particular skill set is just what it is. It's a skill. It's something that you have to practice. And people either practice and know how to overcome, or people, for the most part, don't know how to practice and they start getting bad habits, toxic habits, and they don't really know how to address certain things. They get a hardened heart by being knocked down. And so understand that when you get knocked down, which you will in life, it's really about responding in a fast way to get back up. Most people, or a lot of people I've seen, they will get knocked down and they will carry it. They will carry it for a month. They will carry it for 6 months. They will carry it for, 4 years. They will talk about the pain that they experienced, and they still will act in bitterness from the loss of a job when they feel they've been wronged in a career. It alters people's mentality. It alters their physical state of being, and people will get sick. People will have anxiety attacks. People will get migraine headaches. People will gain weight, and it's all because they are not necessarily knowing how they're wired and what they're designed to do. See, when you know what you're designed to do, your career doesn't determine who you are. It's just determine what you do, but it's not who you are. And so that's always super important to be able to understand that. And so when I played college football and I had that 1% career ending injury, broke 2 bones, cracked three, and dislocated five, I was really hurt by that, and I stayed probably knocked down for about 6 months. But then I knew that I had certain gifts, talents, and skills before I even, yeah, I was a student athlete. And so even in high school, I was on the student council. I was president of the French club. I was on a peer mediator. I was a captain on the football team. So I had different skill sets. It wasn't that football made me, football helped me become a competitive person. I was surrounded by a lot of the guys who had big time skills and went on to do great things in their life. And that really helped iron sharpen iron. And so I was around other guys who did other things. And so when I had that career ending injury, it was like, okay, so what am I going to do next? And there were some people that I saw that got injured in college and they drunk, they continued to drink, and they continue to do some things that really caused their body to shut down and they lost their life. And so being resilient is all about being able to get knocked down and how to get back up. And being unbreakable doesn't mean you never break. It just means you never stay broken. And that's something that I think is important to take away. You're going to get hit hard in life because sometimes life just won't care about you. People won't care about you. But it is now that I've been hit, now that I've been broke, watch how I rebound off of that and look forward to it. And those lessons are some of the toughest lessons in life. And then one of the second points that I wanted to kind of share today, I talked to a young man that I coached in high school. He calls me and he did a really good job. He's graduated with honors. And his question to me was, now that I've graduated, what's my next move? I want to go to the Air Force. I want to go into the officers program, or they're not really returning my calls, but the recruiter just to be in the Air Force is calling me. So what should I do? And I told him to be dogmatic with it. Go after it. Drop by the office, call, get the person's name that they talk to, follow up with them, write down the time that you call, uh, send an email every day, ask when the next time you can have a follow-up appointment. Because sometimes just because someone doesn't reach out to you when you want them to doesn't mean it's not for you. Sometimes you have to go get it, and you have to go get it really hard. You have to pursue it. And when you get to that point, you'll know whether it was meant for you to be or not. But at least you can say, hey, I gave it 150%. It didn't happen. So I'm not supposed to be there. So let me move over here and make that adjustment. And so, again, being broke or not knowing what to do, it doesn't mean that you won't break. It just means that you never stay broken. And number two, look, pressure busts pipes, and pressure really just, it doesn't test your skills, but it reveals the structure of your foundation. If you have an earthquake and you notice some buildings will fall, crumble, and other buildings won't, pressure is really designed to test your foundation. And from time to time, if you crumble, you know that your foundation was not built in a way that was strong. So, what do you do? Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. All right, all right. Look, let me tell you what happened. Of course, the power cord will go out and we're plugged back up. It says we're live. So I'm just going to jump right back in where I was before. Uh, Pressure really reveals the quality of the structure. And so you either know how to bend and recover, or you're built to crumble. And one of the things that we need to do when we understand what that's about is it's the importance of being able to work through loss. It's important to be able to work through setbacks. And a lot of times, the main reason we don't know how to do it is because we don't know how we're designed. We don't know what our strengths are. And you will always hear me say this every time I'm online, whenever I'm training. When you know how you're designed, there's nothing external that can stop you. When you know what your gifts are for and you align your gifts and go after your purpose, there's only things that can delay what you do. There is nothing that can actually stop you. And so understand how you're wired. Go after those things. And just remember, if you don't pass the test the first time, you're going to get the test again and again and again and again. And even when you pass the test, you have to pass the test with confidence, knowing that you can keep passing it no matter how many times, so that you are able to move on to the next level. And then the third point I want to be able to bring up today is, you know how you train your legs to lift? You train, your breathing if you ever do any jogging or get on a treadmill. It's the same thing you have to do. You have to train your mind to be able to see in advance. How do you see in advance? You have to get around people who know how to train you in order to see things coming. If I know what a person's temperament is, I know what their strengths are. I know what their stressors are. I know what their weaknesses are. I know what they're able to do. I know how they're able to collaborate. I know how they act when they have a conflict. And so I can predict what it's going to be like interacting with this person. And I can choose to interact with them, not interact with them, or interact with them and do these certain things for these certain amount of times. And when you're having those collaborations, when you're working with those partnerships, when you're going for a job, when you're working with your clients, you can predict things by understanding how people are wired. You know exactly what you're going to get. For example, if you walk around a dog, or you walking down the street and a dog starts barking and his hair goes up on his back, what does that mean? He usually don't like you, and he's probably gets loose. He gonna come and bite you. You automatically know that. Well, how do you know that? Because you know what the signs and characteristics of a dog that's getting ready to run after you and chase you. And life is the same way, and dealing with people is the same exact way. So I want you to take this away and be able to understand that. Train your mind. I have three coaches. I have an executive coach, I have a business coach, I have a spiritual coach, and really I work on mindset every day. I work on my personal development every single day. And these things help me to get to next financial levels. It helps me to be a better communicator with my wife. It helps me to work and really set my clients up for success. And so those things are very important to focus on. Look, y'all, it's Friday. I hope everybody's going to have a great weekend. I know I'm going to have a great weekend. It's just been a blast. Look, I will see you guys on Monday, where we're gonna go on and focus on the E for unbreakable. And just remember, just because you get knocked down, don't mean you can't get back up. That's my time, y'all. Everybody take care. Have a great weekend. Peace.